Shooting USA is brought to you by SnapSafe. Use promo code SUSA15 for 15% off. And by HiViz. See what you've been missing.
Well, it's another Chamber of Commerce weather type day here in Middle Tennessee, so let's take this update show episode to the front porch. This is where Jim used to, well, he got the nickname the Mayor of Aspen Grove, sitting right out here. Anyway, as mentioned, new episode last night, the USPSA's Factory Gun Nationals. Here's a clip.
Move. He's posted up for that long double stack target. There's the two on the left. At the final position, static paper first, and there's a few extra for that steal. Christian is off JJ's pace, but his hits make up for it.
There's two ways to do this stage. JJ did it 2 seconds faster. I did it 2 seconds slower, but I only had 2 Charlie down. He had 10 Charlie down, so it was actually a wash, 9.4 versus 9.45, something like that.
Watch again in this overlay of the two runs. It's virtually even through the first section. Now JJ hits the gas. They run the final array opposite, and the rest is history.
Before we start into the interview section of this update show, I want to speak to all of you who are subscribed on Patreon. We understand that there have been issues with the links to the Vimeo player on Patreon. We're remedying that. We're going back to the original YouTube player for the Patreon subscribers. The reason we swapped in the first place was the YouTube channel, for whatever reason, people at YouTube decided to delete the 2025 NRA ARC episode for a violation of firearms policy. And I appealed it and they upheld it. So they deleted the content. Like, they just simply removed the video. And the best that I can tell is they went after that specific episode because in conjunction with the new ARC shooting sport, the America's Rifle Challenge, there was also the NRA annual meetings where firearms and retail prices of firearms were reported. They've never had an issue with anything else like the SHOT Show episodes or any of those, so there's no way to really explain it. We will stay on top of it, and we will continue to deliver for those of you who subscribe to the show via Patreon. Great. With all that being said, we've got some shooter interviews in this episode. One that I'm very excited about, Jaylise Williams is leveraging new media herself. She's launched a YouTube channel. In conjunction with that, she and her team are producing a series that they've titled The Road to the World Shoot. Here's Jaylise.
Jaylise, welcome. We got a couple of quick things to talk about.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, John. It's always a pleasure to see you, and I'm very honored to be on.
Everybody who's into practical shooting knows this is a World Shoot year, and we've got a couple of big things to announce regarding you and your participation there. First of which is that you've made the IPSC US Classic team, not the women's team, the team. Like, you're in. Tell me about it. That's got to feel good.
Oh gosh, it feels so good. I mean, there's a lot of pressure surrounding it for sure. And it was definitely a shock when I made it, because I didn't think I had a shot. I didn't think I had a chance, because I was so far behind in it. And then Iron Sight Nationals last year, I had like the match of my life, just the match of my career. And I was able to jump into that 4th spot on the team and made history and everything. It was just very overwhelming, and it's been a wild ride, and coming down to the last few weeks, going to World Shoot in 3 weeks or something. So crunch time for like everything at this point.
Well, you've added to some of the preparation by bringing your audience on your channel along for the ride. You've launched Jaylise Williams on YouTube, and you've also launched the Road to the World Shoot video, essentially documentary series. Talk about that idea.
Yeah, so I launched my YouTube I don't know, earlier this year, and been figuring out how to use it and everything. But I decided, like, I don't know, after I launched, I'm like, what'd be really cool is to document the entire process of me going to World Shoot, because not a lot of, a lot of people always have so many questions surrounding it. I thought, like, this way they can watch and kind of go on the journey with me so that they can see everything that goes into it, like all the behind the scenes, the work, the practice, the training, the travel, the insane chaos that surrounds a world shoot.
That is, well, you've already said you made history. You're the first lady shooter to make the American Classic team, the U.S. Classic team for the IPSC World Shoot. And now you're going to document it and bring it to the world in the form of new media. And we just had the US IPSC Nationals, and I'm not paying attention. I'm not diddling with my phone. I'm pulling up Practice Score Competitor so that I can talk about the fact that you fully back up your position on the U.S. Classic team with your performance at the US IPSC Nationals just this past weekend. Talk about that.
Yeah, my gosh, this was probably the hardest IPSC match I've ever shot before. I've shot quite a few IPSC throughout the years in different countries and everything, whether it's rifle, shotgun, PCC, handgun. But this was a difficult, very technical match. So showing up, I was like, okay, like we're just gonna fall back on what we know, and then my ammo didn't make it, so I had to shoot certified match ammo, unfortunately. So had some wild jams, unfortunately, which cost, I went back and did the math. My 2 major jams cost me 3rd place overall. Ooh, that stings, that hurts. But it's okay, it happens. But, that was a really good match. I learned a lot, and I learned that I just need to, like, trying to think of how to explain. I just need to not care so much, because that's my problem when I shoot, is I overthink everything. I'm like, okay, maybe I should do this or this or this, and I just end up being too much in my head. And for about a day and a half, I was that way. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm so far in the hole now. I'm just going to just go wild out there and do what I want.
Awesome. So assuming that there's a Road to the World Shoot episode coming from the U.S. Nationals, folks will be able to see all of this unfold on your channel maybe soon, maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to put any pressure, but
So released the first episode last week of it. I have the second episode ready. It's going to release this Friday. And then, we just got done filming from IPSC Nationals, so that will be up in a couple of weeks. We have a few episodes working up to IPSC Nationals that you can watch. It's a series, you get to watch the entire production from 5 weeks out to, the World Shoot itself on the ground.
Absolutely love it, man. It's leveraging new media. It's more shooting content for the fans, and it's fantastic. And you're a fantastic brand ambassador for all of the companies that are involved. So couldn't be more proud. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I hope everybody enjoys the journey. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
The YouTube is Jaylees Williams Shooting. It's the same as like my Instagram and Facebook. Try to keep everything even so they can find me everywhere.
There you go. There'll be a link in the description for this. Thanks, Jaylees.
Thank you.
Last night's episode showcased a run to the title in the most popular division of USPSA competition, carry optics. Somebody that you definitely need to know if you don't already, Brantley Miriam.
Welcome, Brantley Miriam, to the Shooting USA Update Show. Last night, new episode, the 2025 Factory Gun Nationals. You were featured prominently. You had a fantastic run. Tell me about your match, as much as you can recall.
Gosh, that was maybe a month ago now. Overall, I think it was a great match. I came into that match a little hesitant with some just some personal stuff going on and changing up training locations. So I was like, hey, I want to make sure I get enough training time, like just rounds behind the gun before the match kicks off, and I was able to get a good amount of training done. So I was feeling ready and show up to the match, and first day went great, and I was like, okay, cool, like let's continue going for day 2. Second day went good, and I was like, even better, let's make it 3, and shot for the third day, and was very, very pleased with how I placed overall, and enjoyed it. And it was definitely the best match I've shot so far for like consistency's sake, of just not having too many just completely like awful stages, and actually had some really, really good high hit factor stages as well.
It's excellent. And part of this is kind of talking about how you got into practical shooting, how you got to this level where you're fighting for the podium and ultimately landing there. Because you're a relatively young guy. Tell me about how you got to this point.
Yeah. So young, 26 years old, haven't really been shooting too long. I've grown up around guns my entire life, being from the South. But it wasn't until really I was 20, 21 years old, back in like 19 or 20, that I was like, hey, I want to get into this practical shooting thing. I started carrying a personal defense handgun, and I was like, hey, I want to get training, and went down the rabbit hole of like, hey, who's the best like trainers to get from, and then it was turned into practical shooting, and then it was like, saw some videos on YouTube, and I was like, dude, that looks like so much fun. Like, I have to try that. So I shot my first match in like late of 2019, and was like instantly hooked. Borrowed my grandfather's Glock 17 Gen 2 for my first match. Like butter grips, like it was super slick. Had a great time, shot awful, it was amazing. And like I said, I've been downhill ever since then. Got really, really heavy into it in 2020. Started shooting Glocks, and then slowly actually went over to the Shadow 2, shot that for a little while, and then recently went back to the Glocks. But just been slowly like working my way up the ladder. This is not my full-time job, so this is kind of like a hobby for me. Now turned into a sport, where I've just kind of been inching away at getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the top. And also kind of a lucky situation, I thought. My first year of shooting, I just shot nationals. I just thought that was what you do. I did not realize that not a lot of people actually in the sport don't shoot a lot of major matches, especially nationals. And so literally like year 1 of 2020, I went to nationals down in Florida in Frostproof and shot that and had a great time. And I was like, dude, I gotta do this every year. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember COVID Nationals at Frostproof. We actually drove there a little over 11 hours from our place here in Franklin. And at that point, I decided that's outside the scope of how far we're going to drive for production. We'll drive up to about 8, maybe 9 max, but 11 is absurd. Talk about Brantley Miriam training, because I didn't really admittedly realize that was a thing until I asked for your email address this morning to send you the link to do this interview. And you've got an event coming up. You've got classes coming up. It's a regular thing. People can do more. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I've been getting hit up to offer training classes for a couple years now. And I think it was last year, later last year, I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm actually going to like do this real process, like get the LLC, do the classes, do the website and all that stuff. And so started launching classes this year and have had like 2 or 3 classes so far this year. We've got like 4 or 5 more on the schedule for this year. So this year's already booked up. I'm not trying to make this like a full-time like training class scenario. However, I would like wholeheartedly, I was kind of like surprised of how much I actually like teaching. And it's kind of weird to say, but like really seeing like the guys and the girls like come to the class and like having the little spark in their eyes whenever you kind of show them this little trick or this little tidbit, and like, hey, like it's not like magic sauce, it's not snake oil of shooting, like it's literally just the fundamentals. And so like getting them to like start with those fundamentals early on in the class so they can progress like through shooting is a lot of fun. So I've been teaching as much as I can with that, just still trying to focus on matches and winning in that area. But if I can help somebody else, whether through a DM or a class to get better, I'm all for that for sure.
Everything I've got for you, do you want to plug the website or any way other people who might be seeing this or hearing this can learn more about Brantley Miriam training or anything else?
Yeah, if you got any questions, hit me up. I answered most of my DMs through Instagram as well. If you're looking into classes for like just for you, or you want to host a class, host me at a range near you, hit me up at BrantleyMiriamTraining.com or through the link in the bio of Instagram. I'd be happy to help out in any way I can.
My guy, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Of course, the update show would not be complete without a few minutes with the champ himself, the human soundbite, Christian Seiler.
arguably one of the best optics shooters in the world, for sure in the country. You continue to dominate. Welcome again to the Shooting USA Update Show.
Thanks for having me, John. I appreciate it. And the only reason why I don't shoot irons is because we don't use, 2 rocks to start a fire anymore. We don't do that anymore, right? We use the lighter. Same thing with the pistol.
Okay.
We use optics. We're in the next century of technology. But that's why we're just optics. But if I need to bring out some Stoneman age technology, I will.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a way to start the update show for sure. Just shots fired left and right. But as folks who watched the episode last night know, or people who pay attention to the practical shooting world, they all know, you win. And it's important in this particular season, not necessarily with the factory gun, with the Carry Optics gun for you, but that's a tune-up and a lead-up to where you're headed, being that it's a World Shoot year. And that's kind of one of the first questions I want to throw out there. How close is your Carry Optics gun to your open gun when it comes to how you shoot it and how you run it?
Yeah, for sure. That's a question everyone's asking. Everyone's like, hey, you shoot the production optics or Carry Optics gun like an open gun. And it's similar but different at the same time. My goal with both guns is to shoot alphas most of the time, right? Like my acceptable sight picture is going to be in the center of the alpha. That can deviate a little bit with an open gun if you're going to shoot something on the move or in and out of position. Sometimes the hit factor can dictate what that looks like. You can also mitigate some risk, whereas in the production optics or Carry Optics zone, sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes I just have to get these alphas and the time difference works out, but you increase your risk. But it's pretty close. I would say production optics and open is really, really close together. The only difference in IPSC is there's 15 rounds versus like 22, 23. So that's the only difference in like the loads and the planning and everything. But it's pretty similar. I just can't train open all year long. It's very violent. I mean, you get concussed not actually like concussion from the comp and everything, but it's just so loud. And I shoot indoors a lot. Also, the gun is a lot easier to shoot. I mean, it's like saying an F1 car is easier to drive than like a Prius, right? It's like the handling's better and everything like that, but it's not easy to drive. It still requires like a skilled operator to use it to its full potential. Like anyone could go hop in an F1 car and drive it, but you're not going to get the performance out of it than an F1 driver could. So like, I don't like saying, oh, it's a lot easier to shoot, because people are like, oh, the gun shoots itself. And it's like, no, I'm doing a whole lot to perform with that gun, but it is easier than a production optics gun. And so I like training production optics because it really stresses the fundamentals. If you don't have a perfect grip with a production optics gun, you will not hit your target, versus an open gun's a little more forgiving since the trigger has less pounds to de-align the sights. Also returning the gun, all that sort of stuff, grip matters. So I prefer training on the production optics guns. You learn more and then just crank up the speed a little bit when it comes time to shoot open. And it's pretty natural for me. I mean, most of my rounds in competition have been in the open gun. So it's like riding a bike again, and it's fun to get back on it.
That's awesome, dude. Talk about your equipment, both for the Carry Optics, the gun you use to win at Factory Gun, and then also your open gun.
For sure. So at Factory Gun, I use the CZ Shadow 2. I have milling and the trigger work all done by Impact Machine. So they're a really great company, has it set up exactly how I want it. The trigger shoe style that I want, that's closer to the reach and the shape of my open gun. So I really like that. I have the lock brass grips on it, flat panel on the right, and a palm swell on the left-hand side. But besides that, pretty much just a stock gun with some trigger work, milling. I have some optics ready ones too, and we're ready to go. So I have that. That gun works perfect. I load all my ammo on my Dillon Precision RL 1100, and have that load just really tuned in there, ready to go. So everything was good for the Factory Gun Nationals, and also for the IPSC, the Open Division. I shoot an EMG, that's Eddie Garcia Custom Guns out of Arizona. Just the best open gun, 2011, any gun that's on a 2011 frame, the best possible out there. Chambered in 38 Super Comp, got 4 ports up top, 2 on the comp, and I have that thing tuned perfectly with the right load. I'm not going to change my load going to IPSC. The hit factor is lower, but I really like how that gun runs, and we're going to absolutely take care of business in a couple weeks here with that.
Super exciting times. I want to talk specifically about one of the stages we showcased last night in the episode, and yes. It was kind of an interesting element in that it was a lateral movement stage. It was a mirror from left to right, an activator, static targets, and a clamshell that you were able to score as many as 4, but it was no penalty because it fully disappeared.
Now it's carry optics, and this is where things get interesting. Brantley Miriam goes little popper and activator, then 2 static paper, and back to the clamshell target. Through the middle, and he's got the same pattern again. He's all done in 15.47. Turns out he got that plan from Christian.
Happens. You go up there, you say, I have an idea. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. They didn't like it. If somebody's going to set the bar so high, you can't just go and make the safe plan. Like, you have to continue to do it. It's like, darn it, I have to try it now. Now they love my idea.
Brantley's move keeps him in the conversation, and now it's Christian's turn to run it. He's watched it work for others, and now he stakes his claim on a stage win. He is the only shooter in the 14s, and down only 2 Charlies. Amazing.
So for me, I just ran the math, saw I could do it. I told Brantley, I'm considering doing this. I'm gonna watch the activator sequence a couple times. And he's like, I think we can do it too. He does it. And people were very skeptical when I said that. People thought I was really crazy, but Brantley was the only guy. I mean, Brantley's awesome, really good shooter, really good guy. He's like, I think we can do this. I'm like, we're talking about with the strategy and everything. Like, I just want to have my performance bubble. So my best performance and my worst performance and my competitor's best and worst performance. My goal is to keep pushing that bubble higher and higher, where even on a bad day, I can still win. And there's been a couple times, I think recently, like Area 5, I had kind of like a dog check where it's like, you look yourself in the mirror. I still got that dog in me, and I had a little problem on a stage. And there's so few stages there. I was just like, well, I'm going to go win every single stage. And then I won the rest of the stages. It's like when push comes to shove and you have to perform over and over and over again, like having that check. And so I've been able to kind of check myself all throughout the year, even when it doesn't matter, of like, I want to do this. Can I go do this and execute on it? Like, that was like one of the challenges to myself in that last stage, is like, this is not a hosing stage. This is like small steel. This is shooting on the move, all this sort of stuff. Let's win this. Like, if this was a stage that I needed to squeeze points out of, could I do this? And I'm like, all right, let's try it. And then I go do it. So it's all about just continuously making myself better. And it's be easy for someone in my position that's won all the things of just like kind of coasting, but I want to get better every single year. I know there's so much juice left in me I haven't squeezed out as far as the performance side and the training side. And so I just keep going to the grinder, I guess, and just squeezing everything I got out of it in my training and my preparation and the matches. And so, the best is truly yet to come, and it's looking pretty good right now. So that's what we're looking forward to do. We got South Africa coming up. Did I just win IPSC Nationals by over 100 points? Yes. Am I satisfied with my performance? No. And that's what's going to elevate my performance in South Africa. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the elements that didn't go as well. I'm going to keep leaning into the elements that are going well. I am ready for this. I just need to find a couple brush strokes on things that require 1 or 2 practice sessions. All the fine brush strokes that require a full season or multiple seasons of work are done. It's just the little things that, hey, I haven't shot a swing plate in this direction in 3 years. Hey, I have one at home. Let's set it up in the next couple of weeks. So fine brush strokes. We're going to go to South Africa, represent the United States with myself, 4 people on the team. My mom and dad are also going with, and we're going to bring home gold. We've done it once. We can do it again. The skills, the talent, the ability, all the training has been done. Now it's time to go over there and execute like we've done all season long, like we've done all career long. I mean, it's just time to go over there and make it happen. That's the last thing that needs to be done. The homework's done. The extra study hall has been done. The tutoring's been done. I tutor myself. I'm going to go over there and take the test. And I don't have a cheat sheet, but I have a good idea on what the answers are going to be.
Dude, so prepared. The absolute best to you. I cannot wait to watch it happen. And the world is now on notice. Christian Seiler is coming to claim gold again at World Shoot.
Thanks, John.
Crush it, man. I'm going to stop.
Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for tuning in. Keep an eye out for future stuff that's coming down the pipe, not only from Shooting USA, but also from Tier 1 Media, new ventures that we may be stepping into. I'll have more on that later. And as Jim always said, be intentional about sharing your sport.